Hello. Hello and a very warm welcome to the beautiful city of Barcelona with its magnificent views, stunning architecture and lovely beaches, all close to the city center. Barcelona has a special place in badminton history as the first Olympic medals in badminton was won here in 1992. And this week Barcelona is playing host to the first edition of the Spain Masters World Tour and today's final stage. Here's the 4 levels of World Tour tournaments. This tournament is a Super 300, the 7th of the 11 tournaments on that level. Of course, here we have the calendar, the 15th tournament out of the 26 scheduled event, all of course leading up to the prestigious World Tour finale in Guangzhou in December. So here's our order of play. We're certain of crowning 4 new World Tour champions. We start out with the world champions. Matsumoto and Nagahara take on their compatriots Sakuramoto, Takahata, that hasn't lost a final yet this year. Then on to men's singles. Top seed Supanye Avihintanon up against the 2nd seed Rasmus Gemke, the winner of Bitburger Open, the young Dane. More Danish interest in women's singles, where Mia Blichfeldt tries to win the biggest title for Danish badminton since Tine Baun won her last tournament at the All England Championships in 2013. She's up against the former bronze medalist from the World Championships, the unseeded Minato Mitani. Mixed doubles sees 2 winners of the BWF Super Tour trying to go 1 level higher here at the World Tour. Top seeds Marcus Ellis and Lawrence Smith takes on Danes Niklas Knorr and Sarah Thyssen. Then the last match, the men's doubles, the battle of the comeback kits. Kim Gi-jung and Lee Yong-dae trying to become Korea's first World Tour winners in men's doubles, and they're up against the tricky combination of Bodin Isara and Manipong Jungjit. So here's the World Tour ranking, the race, HSBC race to Guangzhou, and we can see that Sakuramoto, Takahata are as high as number 4 on that ranking list, whilst the world champions are at number 10, and that's currently outside of qualification for the World Tour finals. Here is the draw in women's doubles. 21 pairs started out, and in the final, the number 1 and 2 seeds meeting each other. Sakuramoto, Takahata have been very convincing throughout the tournament, whereas the world champions Matsumoto and Nagahara, they were stretched yesterday against the Danes Forsgaard and Thyssen, and had to go through 3 games to book their spot in this final. So just waiting to get the players on court.
Y ya entran las primeras finalistas, las primeras cabezas de serie. Mayu Matsumoto de Japón.
Here is Mayu Matsumoto, followed by Wakana Nagahara. Not really waiting for a partner, Matsumoto there. And of course, up against their compatriots, Sakuramoto and Takahata. won 4 tournaments on the World Tour this year and 2 tournaments on the Super 100 Tour. As Takahata and Sakuramoto.
Señoras y señores, las 4 finalistas en dobles femeninos. The finalists in the women's double final. Estas dos parejas han encontrado
And has won 8 out of the 14 World Tours in women's doubles. Denmark has 2 victories, same as Indonesia, and Thailand and China 1 each. Here's the coin toss. World champions won the coin toss and elected to start on the far side of the court. Not a whole lot of difference on the ends here in Sports Center by de Bron. No drift in the arena, there's no air condition installed, so it can get quite hot in here. Here is Matsumoto.
The first one was won by SAKURAMOTO TAKAHATA.
He's 20 years of age.
And this is the second time they're going to face each other.
At their highest world ranking at the moment, after the win in Nanjing. It's only won 1 tournament ahead of the World Championship victory. That was in Canada, 2017. Here's Wakana Nakahara, born in Hokkaido as well as her partner, representing Hokuto Bank in Akita. She's actually won an extra final because she won the 2016 US Open in mixed double as well with Yuko Kobayashi. Here's their road to the final. Had a bye in the first round and 2 very easy wins. The quarterfinal against the experienced Cheng Wen-zhen of Chinese Taipei, and then dropped the first game against Fruergaard in Thyssen, but came back strong to secure their spot here in the final. So to Ayako Sakuramoto, the left-hander, 23 years of age, from Fukuoka, ranked number 12 in the moment, and has been as high as 11, as we saw, number 4 on the World Tour ranking, where also the Super 100 tournaments count towards that ranking. Here's Yukiko Takahata. Just 20 years of age, 5'3". An impressive performance so far in the tournament. Hasn't dropped the game yet. One of the curious things is that they've only lost 12 matches altogether as a pair. They got their first international victory in 2017 here in Spanish International. Here's our service judge, Véronique Bertin, and we saw the umpire, Christian Hedelund from Denmark. Sakuramoto and Takahata just got a 21 win streak broken by a loss in the first round of the Vietnam Open to Chinese youngsters.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Matsumoto,
Chen Lu and Xu Ya.
on my left, Yukiko Takahashi, Ayako Sakamoto, Japan. Ayako Sakamoto to serve, MATSUMOTO, level, play.
So ready to get the final started here in Barcelona. Stayed on the near side of the court here. A drop shot from SAKURAMOTO. And as you saw, it's actually SAKURAMOTO and TAKAHATA who has the head-to-head lead. One against the now current world champions in 2016 in Korea Masters straight games. It's gone long.
Service over. 1-0.
31 shots for the second rally here. Excellent play by TAKAHATA and SAKURAMOTO.
2-1. Service over. 2-0.
It's a battle of A and B teams here in terms of Japanese ranking. World champions in the Japanese A team, whilst SAKURAMOTO and TAKAHATA, despite their 6 tournament wins this year, is still in the B team. That is decided in all Japan tournaments, normally held in December each year. If there's special circumstances regarding a player or a pair, then the national team coaches, they can intervene and promote a player or a pair. Happened to Kento Momota, the men's singles world champion. Japan, of course, won 2 titles
3-5.
last month in Nanjing. Yeah, powerful is she, the tall Matsumoto. 177 centimeters. It's 5'10". Played a fantastic World Championship final. Used to play singles earlier, Matsumoto, and won the Indonesia International in 2014. Was runner-up in Russia Open 2015.
8-3.
Yeah, excellent interception, and just seems like the world champions have excess power, superior power in terms of comparison with Takahata and Sakuramoto here in the first game.
9-3.
Best result for Sakuramoto and Takahata, in my opinion, the win in the Super 500 Singapore Open. Not so often they've been allowed to play tournaments at that level, being in the B team in Japan. So basically, Japan is only fielding 4 to 5 women's doubles in the highest level of tournaments, whereas the B team have to play the lower level. And I think there's a lot of other international pairs that benefits a little bit for that, from that, because they can get to some quarterfinals here and there that they, I think, normally would be prevented to if Japan played with all their top women's doubles pairings. 10 pairs in top 82. That could be much higher for the 6, 7, and 8 that they've been playing higher ranked tournaments. Good attack from Sakuramoto. Sets her partner up, Takahata at the net. Good shot. Reception on that drop shot, and then attack down the middle, and perfect place smash here by Nagahara. Confusion with Sakuramoto and Takahata, and an easy kill for Matsumoto. And the world champions take a 5-point lead into the interval here after 8 minutes of play. Of course, no coaching when it's an all-Japan affair. That has been the case on a number of occasions for Matsumoto and Nagahara. In fact, they've only they played 5 tournaments this year, and only one of them lost to a non-Japanese combination. That was in the All England, where they lost in the semi-final to Camilla Rutuyul and Christina Pedersen, who eventually went on to win that tournament. Excellent placement. Got an advantage in height and reach. The world champions, of course, Matsumoto the tallest, 177, but Nagahara with 168 centimeters is still taller than both Sakuramoto on 166 and Takahata on 159.
Service over. 13-7.
Seems so full of confidence, the world champions, and why shouldn't they be? Close final though against Fukushima and Hirota, where they had to save 2 match points, down 2018. Going wide. Yeah.
Service over. 8-40.
Oi, miss hit. Won their first tournament in 2014. Matsumoto and Nagahara, that was the Smiling Fish International in Thailand.
Service over. 15-9.
Amazing play by Takahata. That's a fantastic rally. Excellent drop shot, deceptive drop shot from the left-hander. So well placed. Look how close it lands to the net. 58 shots so far, the longest rally of the match. And one of the things that are special about these two pairings here is that they can switch in their positions. So we often see Nagahara play the playmaker role from the backcourt, where she sort of explores possibilities with smashes, drop shots, clears, see if she can set up her tall partner on the front court. And sometimes then it's the opposite way around, where it's Matsumoto with her powerful smash from the back court that creates opportunity for Nagahara at the front court. So very flexible combinations. Same goes for Takahata and Sakuramoto. Whereas some of the combinations, the other combinations from Japan, for instance, Tanaka and Yonemoto, there's a much more clear role for each player. Yonemoto, the front court player. Tanaka, the back court, and of course the Olympic champions, Matsumoto and Takahashi, where Matsumoto is clearly the preferred front court player. That low serve went wide from Nagahara, but still 7 points adrift. Takahata serve. Definitely some possibilities in the flat backhand side with Matsumoto when she's at the net. There's so much power in those smashes. Quite content in playing the opposite roles. Matsumoto applying pressure from the backcourt.
19-12.
Lucky net cord from Sakuramoto. Powering her way through, perfect placement. If she gets it over Sakuramoto, it's right in the forehand of Nagahara. Good shot. Typical left-hander attack. Very, very difficult to defend for two right-handed players. The cross smash from the forehand of the left-hand player. Got to pay attention to the middle of the court. So vulnerable for the old cross. Still 5 game points. Left for Matsumoto Nagahara. It's not long.
16-20.
Big defense by Takahata and Sakuramoto. Lifts were a bit short there, but they survived. The fourth game point. Amazing save there by Sakuramoto. But that one lost the first game for the number 4s on the World Tour. The World Champions take the first game in 20 minutes of play. 21-17. As our umpire, Henrik Hidelund, announced. That was the last shot from Sakuramoto.
Second game, no. Flight. Service over.
It's a good service return by Sakuramoto.
One.
Partner Takahata here, one game down, and they've got to come up with something to get back into this match. This game here, I would suppose the world champions would have the advantage. Doesn't mean they can't play it, but most of the times it's not to their advantage to play this open attack, defense, clearing game, in my opinion. We saw yesterday in the men's doubles how well Bodin Isara and Manipong Jongjit, whom we're going to see in the last match today, how well they coped with a challenge similar to the one that Sakuramoto and Takahata is facing at the moment. A pair that's physically stronger. So Jongjit and Isara, they complicated the game, played a lot of service situation, a lot of flat game, fast-paced. Excellent. I think that would be a wise idea to do by Sakuramoto and Takahata. Try and challenge Matsumoto with fast-placed shots, left and right side of the body. When you're tall, you have certain advantages, but of course there's also disadvantages combined with it. Of course, the same case if you're a bit shorter.
Service over. 2-1. 3.
Great defense. She can't really get in a better position. There it was. The long drop shot provoked a loose return.
4-2.
And then Yukiko Takahata was able to kill it.
Service over. 3-4.
Challenge from
Challenging point in.
the shots that are difficult to judge as they slide over the back line. That's a fantastic challenge.
Break out. 4-all.
Power prevails from Matsumoto. It was at this point in the first game they founded their first game victory. Took 5 straight points. Took the world champions. Yep.
Service over. 5-all. Six, 5.
Excellent play by Nagahara and Matsumoto.
6-all.
Momentum with the world champions at the moment. 28 shots that rally.
6.
Great rally. Oi! Excellent drop shot. Deceptive drop shot from Matsumoto. Sakuramoto totally parked, but Takahata saw it, just couldn't get there early enough. Again, it's too difficult for Sakuramoto to set up her partner to get in a better position. Now she's come forward, Nagahara. Excellent play. Physically superior, the world champions. 45 shots. It's of course because it takes a little bit longer time to find the openings. Defensive, pretty much a technical skill, whilst smash power also has something to do with physical power. Means that in comparison with the male counterparts, it should be possible to have almost as good defense as male players, as the physical part is less significant in the defense, but of course not as powerful smashes as the physical element is bigger there. That's why the longer rallies in women's doubles. Excellent play there again by the world champions, and they've again opened up a cushion after the first 8-10 rallies in the second game here. They've stamped the mark on the match. Well spotted, and that's the idea for Takahata and Sakuramoto. They've got to apply some pressure, but they also got to look for the variation and the chances that occurs when they vary their attack. But it's a tough task. There's not much room for error. So, 4-point lead for the world champions. Should be reasonably satisfied. One game up and 4 points adrift here in the first final of Spain Masters 2018. So, can Sakuramoto and Takahata come up with something to prevent them from losing their first final of the year on the World Super Tour, because they lost the final of Osaka International earlier on this year, of course, to Naoko Fukuman. Now
12-7.
But in terms of physical power, this competition on its way for the world champions, I can tell you, as I saw the recently concluded Asian Games, and pretty much went as expected until the semi-final, where the former world champions Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan suddenly went wild, so to speak. Jia Yifan, she was transformed and was the absolutely dominant player in the semi-final and the final. Powerful smashes, so if they run into the world champions in the next couple of tournaments, that's going to be extremely interesting to watch that match. Four points since the interval, and all 4 points to Nagahara and Matsumoto. They look a little disheartened, Takahata and Sakuramoto. Yeah, that's a good drop shot from Sakuramoto. She scored some points on that in this match. Gone wide.
9-16.
Yeah, the idea was brilliant, as the world champions were recovering the left side of the court, but just went wide. Excellent rally by Sakuramoto and Takahata. Fantastic attack. Dive from Nagahara. And finally, great interception at the net by Yukiko Takahata. It also shows something about how hard they have to work to score their points. Playing their 7th final of the year. 8th if you count the Osaka International, but the 7th final on the circuit that counts towards the year-end finale. The World Tour Finals. Lucky for Takahata and SAKURAMOTO. Well played. Clever shot there by Nagahara.
18-11. Service over. 12-18.
Yeah, well played. You gotta make a move now if they want to stay in this match. They want to take the 7th title of the year. Right now it looks like Matsumoto and Nagahara is going to take their 2nd in a row.
13.
Oh, red coat. That's well worked by Nagahara and Matsumoto, and thereby 7 match points for the world champions. 37 shots. That rally there. It's gone long. And the world champions have taken their first World Tour win. A convincing performance by Matsumoto and Nagahara. It was like the 3rd game match yesterday against Fruogo and Tuesday, sort of had woken them up and saying, hey, we need to find an extra gear here for the semi-final and the finals. And they certainly did so. So, interview with the winners.
Very happy. Yes, very happy.
Anata Torena. Ai. Anata harare nishori sosogekimasu ka? Yeah, anata hare shori. Torena no. Sasagimasu ka? Sasagimasu ka?
応援してくれた人たちにいい報告ができて嬉しいです。
そうですね、たくさん応援してくださってたので。
Le he preguntado a quién dedicaban el triunfo después del campeonato mundial que ganaron en Nankín y ahora han ganado en Barcelona, y han respondido que a su entrenador y a sus compañeras de entrenamiento, porque están orgullosas de haber ganado este campeonato. Arigato gozaimasu.
Yeah. I'm not fluent in neither Japanese or Spanish, but I managed to catch that they were quite happy with their victory. Always nice to follow a World Championship win up with a quick win immediately after, to sort of confirm that you're playing at a really, really high level. Here is the last rally. Nagahara calls it long. So after 43 minutes of play, victory for the world champions, 21-17, 21-13. So whilst we're waiting for the prize presentation, we can take a look at the tournament. Very successful one for Japan. 3 pairs in the tournament, 3 pairs in the semi-final.
The victory ceremony of the women's double event. Las medallas eran liberadas para los seleccionados mancantes disputadas als esports de la Delegació de Barcelona, acompanyat de Toni Reig, director del Consell Català de l'Esport. També dels grups presented by Michael Fandos, Deputy of Sports in the Barcelona Provincial Council, accompanied by Mr. Toni Reig, Director of the Catalan Sports Council. Runner-ups, second place, segunda posición para las japonesas Ayako Sakuramoto, Yukiko Takahata.
Yeah, that's a step that they're not used to being at. Sakuramoto and Takahata, 6 times they've played final previous to this one, and 6 times they've been on the top podium. But additional points to the World Tour ranking. Here's the winners and world champions. First ever World Tour win for MATSUMOTO and Nakahara. Of course, for them also valuable World Tour points.
Un fuerte aplauso para las finalistas del doble femenino. Let's give a big hand for the finalists of the women's double.
So next match coming up in just a little while. Men's singles as you can see, between the top seed, Spaniel Abihintanong, and the second seed, Rasmus Gimke of Denmark.